And the cuties and cuttins. After coming out of the closet, I've been through a lot of struggles, and a lot of people have asked me a lot of questions, like what are you doing? Why are you doing this? But I didn't listen to any of that, and I went on with my journey. Now, reaching here, I want to showcase different stories of different people who have gone through similar journey like me. So let's have chai with my guest, Annie, and welcome to Chaya with Maya.
Thank you.
So, I want to ask you the fundamental question. What is your favorite type of chai?
Um, well, I don't mind any kind of tea,
Okay.
honestly. But I usually tend to drink really weird tea that's not like real tea.
Okay.
You know, these strange infused teas and
Okay.
things. But I really have no problem with any kind of tea.
So, Annie, tell us about yourself.
Okay. I'm a student. I
Okay.
study microbiology and I identify as queer. And I love to bake and to read. Oh, and I love animals
Oh.
a lot.
So, let's speak about what you mean by being queer, because the audience would like to know what queer means.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, specifically in my experience, I have been attracted to both men and women.
So, Annie, why don't you tell the audience what does queer mean to you?
Okay. So, to me, being queer is just being of an alternate sexuality and not having to put labels on that. So, because in my experience, I've been attracted to both men and women.
Okay.
And yeah, I think sexuality is a fluid thing, it's not something fixed.
I do agree with you. Sexuality is fluid, and I want to ask you, like, was there a point in your life where you had to come out to your parents or to your friends, and how did they react to you? Like, why didn't you share that with the audience?
Yeah. There was, and I actually came out to my parents very recently. And I've been fortunate in the sense that the people around me have been very accepting about anything that I would choose to do with my sexuality. So they would never say that it's unnatural or anything.
Okay.
I suppose a couple of times I was asked if I'm sure and things like that, and to justify my reasons. But you know, other than that, people have been very accepting about,
Right.
yeah, because I know that the people around me are accepting about people being queer in general.
But like, was there a point of when you were talking to them about yourself that you had this sassy remark to them, like saying that because you said, are you sure? Did
Yeah.
you because usually what happens is when people know that you are attracted to both the sexes, they assume that it's just a phase,
Yeah.
or it is just what do you say, like, no, I'm pretty sure you'll pick a side one time of your life or something. Yeah.
No, I just told them that I am sure. I refrained from making any extremely sassy remarks. At least for that, I made sassy remarks for other things. But you know, yeah.
Okay.
And about picking a side, I don't really feel the need to. Although I would say that I lean more towards women, definitely.
Okay, that's great. And what do you say about within the community? There is, at least me being gay, I have always came across people who are biphobic. They can't stand bisexual people, and they assume that bisexual people cheat on other people.
Yeah.
That's the usual misconception that they have.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about is biphobia there within the lesbian community as well? Because it's rampant in the gay community.
There is in the lesbian community. It's not so much biphobia as the fact that if you're bisexual, people tend to think that you're not sure.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, stay away. I don't want to be your experiment, please.
Okay.
Which I understand when somebody's experimental, you don't really want to go there, but you don't just assume that anybody who's attracted to both sexes is not sure about anything in life, you know? So, which is why I don't like labels. So I just say that I'm queer.
Yeah.
Because there is one that I'm increasingly more attracted to, and one gender that I'm less attracted to, and I don't like to, quantify it under a label like that.
Exactly.
So.
And like how you said, sexuality is fluid, and in your life there is different phases of your life or different times of life. When you are attracted to women, you will be attracted to men, and it's just fine because you
Yeah.
are a human being, and the sexuality is a broad spectrum.
It is.
Annie, now you talked about sexuality being fluid. Now, what do you think about gender fluidity? Because in our country and in our society, people only think that there are two genders, that is male, female. But I'm pretty sure you would have more knowledge about, like, what are the different types of gender, and
Yeah.
what do you think about gender fluidity?
I think first of all, what most people don't understand is that gender is a construct, sex is biological, and the two are very interchangeably used, and that's problematic. Also, the fact that gender is viewed as a binary, that needs to be
Changed,
that
right?
needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Because gender is about personal identity and not about your genitalia.
Exactly. Like, so it's always to do with gender. Like, what do you think? What do you feel about who you are as a person, and what do you identify yourself as? Now, that's what people are trying to like project on you, saying that, hey, you have to be like this, and you
Or
have to
even
be.
not identifying with any gender at all.
Exactly. There are people who are like, they don't want to be part of being male or female. They
Yeah,
just want to
just
be
gender
like
non-conforming.
conforming. We know a lot of people like that,
Yeah,
don't we?
we do.
So they go with the pronouns saying they, them, their. They don't want to go with he, she, any of those pronouns.
Yeah.
So that is how we respect them, because that's how
Of course.
the pronouns that we have to use. Because people don't know where to put them in he or she, and they're confused.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which is why it's also important to say what pronoun you prefer.
Exactly.
You know?
So it's always
people don't misgender
it's
you.
yes. It's always best that when you ask a person, you ask them, how should I address you? Like, for example, me, when I am as Alex, people call me he, and when I'm as Maya, people call me as she. So that is how you respect that person of their gender identity. So yeah. Now. Coming back to your sexuality, now there are a lot of people, when they come to know that you are a lesbian couple or something, they'll say, who is the butch and who is the femme, and who is dominating, who is submissive.
Yeah.
That's the questions usually people have. So how do you tackle with that? How do you say, this is, listen, you have to break those,
Yeah.
saying that you are butch, you're femme, and
Yeah.
that categorizing people and
Yeah.
putting labels on them. So
Again, that's a problem with the binary, right? Of course, people only see it as, because we're so heteronormative.
Yeah.
Even when two women are together, there has to be a male role and a female role.
yeah.
So I mean, I just say as much. I
Yes.
say you need to exit the binary. Please stop.
See, the exact problem with me also. So people think that when I'm in drag, or with that because I'm a drag queen, I'll have to be ultra feminine,
Yeah.
and I will be like that throughout. When I'm out of drag, which is not true. I do play a very being masculine, being feminine. So that is like how the American Indians would say, two-spirited
Yeah.
person. So yeah. Coming back, I wanted to talk to you more about like when you do study in a Christian institution.
Yeah.
So how does it face? Like, how does it feel, or when you are open about your sexuality, and do you face any sort of like people coming up to you and saying that what you're doing is sin, what you're doing is wrong?
Yeah. Personally, nobody has come up to me and said those words to my face. They have been visibly uncomfortable,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
But very, very, very visibly uncomfortable.
Okay.